Hello, I'm Eric Snodgrass, and thank you for watching today's Midday Western U.S. Regional Forecast video brought to you by Nutrien Ag Solutions. We'll take a look at this GOES 17 satellite animation, which stretches all the way back to yesterday and then pulls into early this morning here on Tuesday. We had a pretty significant change in the pattern of the Pacific jet stream, which we talked about in Monday's video, but it's really now coming into fruition. First of all, we did have a pretty sizable low pressure system. You can see it here come curling into the Pacific Northwest, causing quite a few problems, including a lot of delays in and out of Seattle-Tacoma Airport. I'm actually there right now dealing with the delays of our flights as I'm trying to get to Billings today. And that particular system, you can see that the systems that are lined up behind it do have the potential for actually moving through the Gulf of Alaska and taking aim on the Pacific Northwest. Secondly, we actually are seeing the remnants of a tropical system down here that's moving up into, well, the kind of the Baja region and has now become extratropic and characteristic and is now a cutoff low. We're going to watch that cutoff low moving here across parts of Southern California, getting over to the Four Corner states in the coming days. And as it does so, potentially produce quite a bit of precipitation. But I'm kind of excited about this overall change given how very dry things have been. And maybe it's best seen right here. Here's our cutoff low, and you can see the North Pacific jet stream no longer split. It is moving, quite a few waves in the flow, but the good news is it's no longer blocked nearly as strongly as it was. And we're going to ask ourselves some questions here. How long does this last, and what does this mean toward our near-term precipitation? Precipitation first. European model, next 7 days shown to you over here on the left. Now, with the cutoff low coming on shore, it's primarily going to affect the corridor in between the two lines I just drew here. We do have the potential parts of the LA Basin, then getting over into the Great Basin and down into Arizona for the potential to pick up anywhere between 3/4 of an inch and some locations well over 2 inches of rainfall. You're going to see that better in a few seconds. Then with the other system sneaking in via the northwest, coming in like this, we have the potential in parts of the Olympic Mountains and getting into the Cascade Mountains for picking up, again, at higher elevations, 1 to 2 inches of liquid equivalent. Some of it does come in by way of snow. You can see the snow map over there on the right looking through the next 7 days, and certainly bringing up our snowpack where we currently have none in the Intermountain West and the Sierra Nevada, getting into kind of the Great Basin area and then over toward the Rockies, giving them another helping. But I want you to notice one thing. Because of the trajectory, one system coming in like this, the others coming in like this, we're missing a big section of California in here, where both part of our San Joaquin and Sacramento Valley look to be missing a lot of the rainfall over the next week. And because of that, there'll be some higher winds with this system. We do actually have a red flag warning out for parts of the Sacramento Valley. Winter storm advisories, winter storm warnings for the Sierra Nevada, and a broad area of flood risk down here in parts of Southern California, Arizona, and southern Utah. So this system that is coming out is going to also help change this map. This was released last Thursday, had data through last Tuesday. It's our latest drought monitor. And with the speed that this system's going to move very slowly through the region I just circled, I expect to see some change here in the next couple of weeks in the drought conditions that are right now set up at the Four Corner states. One other thing to take note of, we did get in our latest drought monitor update an expansion of the D0. That's the smallest or the lowest stage of drought through California. But with this overall pattern change, that may be more favorable for California moving forward. So let's take a look at these systems. Okay, in the overnight hours on Monday, system number 1 is moving through the northwest, and you can see by 8 o'clock in the morning, 9, 10, we're still dealing with that system, the remnants of it pushing now over into parts of Montana, where we are expecting some light snow today. So we actually have winter weather advisories out for this region as well. By the time we get into overnight hours on Tuesday into Wednesday morning, now we can see that upper level low coming in here into the southwest, and look at the heavier rainfall we're anticipating in the overnight hours on Tuesday getting into Wednesday morning. And this system, as it sits and curls up and spins here, this is a multi-day rainfall event with some snow at higher elevations here. Snow levels somewhere around the 5,000 to 6,000 foot range when the colder air is fully established. And that's going to sit there all the way through Thursday morning. So let's now switch over to our operational European model to see how long it's around. So we've played up to about right here. This is now Wednesday night into Thursday morning. So let's see how long it takes for that upper level trough to get out of the way. So this is now Thursday evening, getting into Friday morning. And I think by the time we get into Friday midday, that system is now gone. So when's the next one coming in? Well, as we press play and get on through here, this is now getting to Saturday morning, getting into Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening. By Sunday, we're starting to see another quick push of some rainfall here coming through coastal Oregon and Washington. But then watch what happens as I get you out into the week of Thanksgiving. Monday afternoon, getting into Monday evening, Tuesday morning. At this point, the models have been advertising and keep showing me that by the time we get into Tuesday evening into Wednesday morning, we could be seeing a pretty sizable low pressure center moving right here into the west coast of North America. And as it slides down through British Columbia and then takes aim on parts of Oregon and Washington, we'll have enough cold air in this that we could be dealing with quite a bit of snow in interior parts of Washington, Oregon, and Idaho. And as this system sneaks through, it is looking pretty vigorous. And it is well timed with another low that's coming through the Midwest, and I've got quite a lot of forecast guidance at this point suggesting that this is going to come through. Let me show you where I get some of that. You see, we're looking now exclusively at week 2 from the GFS ensemble and the European, and both of them are painting that trajectory. See it? In terms of our wetter than average precipitation anomalies. So the cutoff low going in like this. You can see it here. And over there on the in the northwest, we got this northwest flow coming through that Gulf of Alaska. So I'm excited to see the breakdown in the pattern because we've been so very, very dry in this area. Okay, let's now take this another step further. This is only looking at the day 4 through day 10 precipitation. And we can see here that the European model is really wanting to bring in quite a bit of precipitation into coastal Oregon and Washington, such that we could be adding another 3 to 4 inches of rainfall, which would be right on target for normal. Now, take a look at this though. With the colder air that will be in place, this is the probability of picking up a foot of snow over the next 15 days. So our currently very unsnowy mountains have the potential with these next 3 systems to really pack in some snow here. So we're going to watch this carefully and get some of those snow amounts as this system kind of rolls through. What are our bigger features? Well, as we get out through the next 5 days, we are still seeing this pattern with a flatter ridge in this area with still a trough that's developing to its south. But I'm concerned about this, the Scandinavian ridge, and this ridge over here in western Russia. And why I like this pattern setup is look at what happens when I take you out to day 10. You see, by day 10, we see the really, this is pretty well established, and our storm track tends to be something like this. So for the Pacific Northwest, storm systems will come over the Gulf of Alaska and invade us from the northwest, which is why I got some confidence in this longer range forecast at seeing the pattern break down by the end of the month of November and the beginning of December. Because as I take you all the way out now to December 4th, we again see our ridge kind of retreating back over toward the Aleutian Islands. And if that happens, that makes for much of the western half of North America, specifically the west coast of the U.S., on a wetter pattern. But take a look at what it means for temperatures. Over the next 5 days, models are in pretty decent agreement about this pattern. Maybe struggling a bit with how cool things will be with the rainfall that will be coming in with that cutoff low. But overall, because this isn't a digging trough, this is a tropical feature that came up like this, became extra tropical and is going to go off in that direction. We don't have the bitterly cold air in place across any part of the west through the next 5 days. But some change is afoot, okay? And I think it's going to be happening up here in Alaska first. This is the day 6 through 10 pattern. Some model disagreement here, but overall, you're going to see that by the time we get out to day 11 through 15, we're starting to see a pretty similar setup going on. With that trough I told you developing here and elongating in this area, see the cooler weather in Alaska? That says, hey, look out for stronger jet stream flow, temperatures back closer to normal, maybe a slight cool bias, and they go racing across the country. We can see that kind of in both models here. So I'm going to be watching this pattern carefully because it is finally a breakdown that we have not seen the likes of in a while in terms of our precipitation and temperature patterns. So one other thing to talk about here as we go and wrap this one up is we're also watching another player. The polar vortex is currently elongated and is forecast to get into this position over the next 5 days. Now this is going to be putting a lot of colder air on the other side of the planet over into Russia, but that has significance for us here in the US. They've already started to see that cold air. On Twitter, we're starting to see a lot of images like this in parts of Siberia where we've seen temperatures now get down to the -20 to -45 degree range. And for some reason, reason, we always get lots of pictures with these weather maps of people that go out with scarves and hats, and as they breathe through them, the water vapor that comes from their lungs freezes onto their eyelashes and hair. It's interesting though, because in this tweet it says, temperatures dropped to minus 40 degrees Celsius 5 days in a raw. I bet you that was just a slip there, because it is quite raw when it's that cold. It is so very dry. But here is the key. With that colder air in place here, we are very rapidly shrinking what is left of the ice-free region in the Chukchi Sea. And like I said, when we close that off, that will signal a larger pattern change across the North Pacific. So we're going to watch it carefully, see how quickly it happens. My guess is, over the next few days, and maybe getting out to the next week and a half, we're going to really see that cave in and close. So let's watch it all together and keep an eye on it, because it is definitely changing our pattern across the North Pacific, getting us finally our first chances at some decent rain in a while. Okay, we'll wrap it up right there. Have a great week. Look forward to talking again tomorrow with the long range update. Thank you.